So I'm simulcasting. Call myself trying to be grown. Call myself trying to be grown, child. Y'all work with me. Work with me. I'm trying to get my coffee together. What? What happened? Hey, friends. Y'all got y'all coffee? Y'all got coffee. Good morning, YouTube and Facebook. Who just got paid? Who just got paid so y'all can share love. Y'all know how it is when you get paid, girl. You be, hey baby girl, hey papa, back. All right. Good morning, sister. Whatever, Care Bear. Okay, and say I'll be like not showing up on there. So you try to do what you can. So welcome to whatever we got going on over here. We got our coffee. We hydrated and motivated. We are here on Social Work Table Talks where we talk about real life, real combos, and baby real solutions. Okay, we over here really I hold these days and we ain't taking nothing less. I want to come at you from the beautiful Fresno, California. Some people call it Fresno, California. However you rock it, come on up in here, lean up into this experience because we talk back and we relaxing, okay? We not trip, we be over here flexing and all that. We finna have some real live conversations. And we've been on YouTube for about 30 minutes. And then I was reminded that I left my folks out. So I came back for y'all because that's what respectful people do. All right. So we're going to really, we just talking about, we've been chopping it up. Hey, Lola, we've been really talking about, um, back to school. We know some of our kids has, and then we know that there's a lot of other little people that's going. And one of the pet peeves that I was sharing on TikTok is the way these people are out here driving and how they driving reckless and how their decision and driving this way, how it really impacts kids for the long haul because kids are traumatized by some of these crazy drivers. And I say, everybody know when school was back in across the young buses, they could kill fellow or gold or whatever. Don't know where y'all states, how y'all buses. I don't want to assume that they all gold or the yellow bus, but the point is, everybody know when it's back to school time. You see the people fussing and fighting last stores. People make a mess out of their life because they wait last minute for whatever reason. And then they believe that the whole world's supposed to shut down, accommodate, and slide to the left. That's not how it works. And the reason why I'm really on this, because I've seen drivers, and after talking to a few kids yesterday, just chopping it up, and their parents, we have kids that, like he said yesterday, he said, I haven't been to the park in about 7 or 8 months. And I'm like, well, what's going on? It was the summer. That was your thing. You used to be on your skateboard. Tell me more about it. And he was basically saying, like, somebody was busting donuts at the park by their house and driving reckless and knocking down trash cans to the point 8 months later, he not touching the park. He not touching the park. That person that went on in life, having a good time, not really reckless behavior, causing somebody that used to enjoy going to the park, being close to a park, he won't no parts of it. And that's what PTSD look like, right? You have these events going on and on, you reliving it, you're scared, you having nightmares. And so I'm just out here driving fast, like I was telling TikTok. We have friends that's retired. They're gonna be the traffic controller at the light. And they looking for these yard duty aides, baby. They finna be the traffic controller at the light. And they looking for these reckless drivers, baby. I come tell me, Tasha, we gave out record number of tickets because some people don't learn a lesson until it costs them something. And it don't make no type of sense to be out here thinking the whole world's supposed to revolve around the anxious driver. Where you going, Pooh? Like where you going? And you got to think about it. Like I used to be like, well, just this is what I used to say. You know, if your child was walking to school with the nowadays, people got to work, so you put the kids in the group. You school them on how to walk to school safety. A green light nowadays don't mean a green light. Y'all already know that. So some of us, when we was raising our kids, the green light mean go, the yellow light slow down, and the red light stop. That don't apply right now. You still gotta look and please pray over them babies. Pray over them. Pray over them as they go in and as they come, and pray over the school, the staff, the principals, superintendents. Cover them. Don't assume that they're supposed to just come back home. We have countless examples, national, international, and local, before us that we have to thank God for covering and protecting our babies. And for the reckless driver, if you know you an anxious driver, reckless all into your conversation on the phone, nobody care about your surround sound and your nice car. Pay attention. And I used to really honestly say, like, okay, what if that was your child walking? Would you want somebody to do that? Drive accordingly as if it was your kid. But then I had to, Michaela, take that off the table. After knowing my journey in child welfare as a social worker, I had to realize, oh yeah, there is some parents out there that truly don't care, reckless in their ways with their kids. So if they gonna treat the kids in the community how they treat their own, I want to scratch that off the table. So I have to go back and say, be responsible, be held accountable. Know that your reckless behavior in driving is probably reckless behavior in your life. That ain't nobody else's business. But I'm telling you, for the sake of these babies, we not dealing with you this year. Literally said, Tasha, I am going to be a sign, whatever you call it, at the stop sign, and taking pictures, videos, whatever they is, and they're going to follow up and make sure your behind is held accountable. So add that to your car registration when you get all these tickets, because some of y'all don't nobody get in your program because everybody running around here scared to say something to each other. But the same God that protected us in these homes down through the years is the same God that's going to give us holy boldness to call people on their stuff. You got to call them on their stuff. You got to call them on their stuff. And like I'm telling y'all, these babies is going back to that. They've been shut down. Some of their grandparents, some of the people they love and care about, some of their friends, they done passed from COVID. A lot of them is scared, like the young lady said. A lot of them are, going to junior high for the first time. That's a whole change, right? They're going from a sixth grade experience, one class all day, to multiple classes with a whole bunch of kids that's coming under one campus with a lot of different things that they've dealt with over the summer or not dealt with over the summer. Then they're dealing with teachers and leadership and administration who got their own set of stuff. They don't have the tolerance and the mental capacity like they used to, but they going in. Some of them absolutely love what they do, and some people just in any setting, they're doing those things. So be mindful of what the babies are dealing with as they going back to school. Be mindful of your capacity as a parent. We have to learn how to talk to one another. And maybe you guys can start resource sharing about who's going to walk the babies home from school. That's exactly what I did. And a lot of you guys kind of mismanage that, or you minimize it based on the climate of the country. Let me tell you something, like I was telling you guys, it may be higher shelf for you to reach to find that support. It might be you have to find that support, but it still exists, because the universal truth is there's countless people every day. Countless people can be a resource, can be a resource to you. We're not talking about strangers. We're talking about people in your apartment complex, people in your gated community, right? That you trust, your kids have a pre-existing relationship with, And y'all know you got to qualify trust these days. Please, please, and thank you. But don't push your kids to this mindset that you got to go, because a lot of them have a lot of anxiety going back this year. Talk to teachers ahead of time. Some days you're going to have to miss work and go to that teacher and be like, you know what? Or, at least get off early and let them know. And I'm just gonna be honest with y'all. All in any profession, anything in life, all things are not created equal. You got to be able to discern the maturity of the teacher, of the administration, and all that when it comes to sharing things about your kid. If you know and you experience in that provider, that teacher, whatever, not really mature based on your core values, then me personally, I wouldn't let that person know certain things. Like I would say, you know what? I would like for my kid to be seated in a certain compassion your kid. If they feeling a panic attack or feeling some anxiousness coming on, he or she can kind of dismiss themselves from the environment. But you talk to a trusted individual in the school that understands that we're making plans for you. You don't want a lot of you guys getting excited to send them to school. Maybe they can eat on the school lunch. You can have a little break to yourself. Your phone is going to be ringing off the hook at work if we don't have these interventions in place beforehand, right? And I know some of the schools is pressed. There's staffing, there's all kind of other stuff going on. And their after school programs, they're still trying to get people to come back and even work in that. And that's paid positions. But what they're saying is a lot of people are not signing up and wanting to be hired for the after school program for many reasons. A, the pay is not what it needs to be. B, they don't have somebody that can watch them every day. C, the behaviors of kids, a lot of people saying, you know what, I can't really deal with it, because I don't know what I might say or do the way I parent, So a lot of people in the school districts, they saying, you know what, Tasha, it's gonna take us a little bit more longer to find some after school people to, really serve these kids. So everybody is pressed right now. Don't assume because your kid been in after school program since kindergarten that it's just going to pop up and exist, because there are a mass shortage in schools, a mass shortage in social work, a mass shortage in nursing, right? So this is a time of collaboration. You got to get that retired auntie or uncle or something and have conversations about resource sharing right now. Don't you get the email or the start talking to people in your community and say, girl, you work till 4:30. You're gonna hit the traffic. Can you meet them at this gate? Right? Y'all gotta understand. We also need to be covering these babies in prayer. We don't want to send them hyper. Hey, you don't want to send them in so fearful to where they can't live life and they just wallowing in anxiousness. But we want to be wise about it, right? We want to be wise about it. Um, just be wise when they in these after school programs. Know who these people are. Know who they are. No, I mean, I just go that extra mile. If you know that they drive such and such car, I'm taking pictures of license plates at this point. Do these things and really, you know, be in tune. The reason why I'm pushing this so hard, because I just wonder if we don't slow down in all this anxiousness and movement, many things that we miss that can be prevented. Many things can be prevented if we slow down and be in tune to what's going on around us. A lot of my colleagues that are still working down at social services are parents of referrals for things that could have been prevented, for things that could have been prevented. We got on Instagram, social workers is coming out of the cubicles, coming on the online space to be a resource. But we can't be no more resourceful than you owning up to your truth in the situation. This is not about leadership. This is about opening up to the fact that you deserve some level of guidance in areas that you're not clear about. We all need that. But there are some deal breakers. We're not going to be trying to learn and crawl out of some things at the disparity and the safety of our children. risk factors for kids, period. I don't care how you slice it, how you try to justify it. These babies didn't ask for that. They didn't ask for it. And so that, therefore, this is why I tell you guys all the time, social work and child welfare, for example, it was never designed to raise kids. But because people not pulling it together, family not holding each other accountable, they only come to the meeting after the fact and, oh, I knew that happened, right? And what do you guys hear me say? Which one is off kill here? The one that watched the fight, or the one that set the fire, or the watcher, or the one that set it on fire? Which one? We don't have time to debate that. So if you can just be honest with yourself right now, if you mentally tapped out and there's so many different ways and pathways to your healing. But the first courageous step you need to take is slide into a DM. Talk to somebody that you trust. Because I'm telling you, for some of you guys that got babies, going back into the climate of our country and schools and a set of fears and concerns on the table, it's going to throw you off. You're going to want to be up under the bed. And I want you to know that there's people out here. Sis said she is school social worker on Instagram. She said, my first 5 years as a social worker was child protection. See? She's on Instagram, School Social Work Solutions. And I believe, don't you make like journals or something? I can't remember. And I thank God for social workers coming out the cubicles, because we realize that when we come out with the gift God has given us to serve, we can come with you with lived experience on another level. We can hold you accountable on a different level. We don't have to come scripted based on government, right? We can really, really tell you to gel your edges in some areas. Because a lot of us got in this work, not because our life was perfect and polished, but we believe in this work. We believe with the proper support and guidance and to get up in your grillness, if you will, that you're going to be all right. But the one thing we're not going to deal with is excuses. You know somebody reckless. And like I'm telling y'all, there ain't nobody judging you on stuff, but you doing things online all the way out of Richter. Babies all in the background running around. And then you want to say somebody picking on you. You making it easy for become. And that's what I said earlier. When you in pain and you reckless, you can't blame everything on being mentally ill. We all got some stuff going on. You can't really make an excuse about certain things. Yes, there's a mental heaviness going on. I'm not trying to minimize that. But you can't, like I'm telling you, you can't play the game on the people that created the game. You can't have situational ups and downs and then really make an excuse about not being available to these babies and then wonder why they end up in these old raggedy systems that reinforce the same things, right? Y'all know and I know there's some people on your radar that's not doing right by them kids and you're not saying nothing. Well, I don't want them to think I'm judging them. And listen, like I said last night, get out of your feelings and get into your faith. God put it on the radar. We all mandated reporters at this point. Why don't you create a mandated reporter system in your family without the downtown boys getting involved? Because what y'all don't know, social workers can't pull up on your porch and take your kids. That's not why we got into this work. We don't want them. We want you to pull it together. And whatever pull it together mean for you, for the safety of the babies, because can't nobody replace you. We in the office late nights trying to support and love on these babies and hold space for them while you decide to figure it out. While you chasing love, but then neglecting love to the ones that God has loaned to you. You're not going to get what you chasing when you disrespecting and disregarding the ones in front of you. Isn't that funny how we want the same thing from other people that we're not willing to give to the little people loaned to us? Isn't that something? So you chasing after the wind. And you got these boys down here that me and sis over here, in the trenches with. I imagine she's didn't get in there to be a part of the get along game. They getting fat funding. based on your brokenness that we never see, right, sis? Oh, they putting a good plan together, intervention plan together, how they gonna just slap the millions down in the community and do whoop wop whoop. We ain't seeing none of that. We in the meeting shaking the checkbook, knocking on your door, sis. We ain't going out like that. Open up the door. We knock on windows because we're coming with a sense of servitude to you. And the 9 to 5, I mean, it is what it is. They gonna accuse us of spending too much time at Sister Jones' house. You know, we got 20,000 other referrals. I understand that. But when God leads you to pour in to reveal some things, you know, we don't have the answers. I'm just telling you. Social workers, we not superwoman and superman, nor are we God. But the Holy Spirit will go in us and say, you know what? I see what's unspoken. Tell me about this. And y'all got to understand, we have got to work direct with the post. Okay, that. Y'all got to understand the mass discrimination and racism and all of this stuff. It hit every system. Y'all beating up on social worker, taking your babies and blase, blase, want to make an excuse. But do you know a social worker can't come to your door and just pull up on you and do the assessment? The police got to put the hold. There's times, and this probably can agree, police put a hold, which means the kids are deemed unsafe, and they call our office to come remove the kids, and it doesn't align with our assessment. We can sit there and be like, that dirty house don't seem dirty to me. It looks like I got some depressed parents. And when you're depressed, you lucky if you get out the bed and wash your butt or your hair. You mean to tell me we finna uproot 5 or 6 kids because we got depression? So now we criminalizing depression? Because we talk to all the kids. They have the adequate supplies is there. But when we go down the timeline, life been life, and mama been stuffing the stuff down and she depressed. And kids raising themselves or whatnot. We don't criminalize when you're sick. If you was diabetic and couldn't get to the sink and cook, we don't put you in jail in timeout, parenting timeout. We give you the resources and the guidance and undergird and put a social circles of support around you. Because some people in family dynamics, they know how to hide their stuff really, really well. They dress up, they still go to work and show a smile, right? And you don't really know that they really, really depressed at home. That's why they don't invite you over for Thanksgiving, because then they're going to be exposed on how bad their house is looking. And then you got these cops. They are the America's most. I'm just gonna say, y'all know I'm big on not doing universal things, but I'm gonna pull it back and say it's been my experience on a child welfare journey. It has been my experience that many of the cops that I have encountered in my experience, they are the America most wanted because they're not looking for a compliance. They're looking for a compliance social worker. They're not looking for somebody that knows their worth and value and knows the law, know people rights, and know the lens of suffering. You gonna criminalize suffering? Is that what we doing? I'm not gonna make it easy on my watch. Sits over here 5 years in. We not making it easy on because God go in there. He didn't provide us to go through college and do all the programs and get in there to just be a part of the get along game. We came to dismantle the systems. We can't do it by ourselves. If the community is in denial, who gonna do it? Who? Oh, Carter, you back over here with the Reba wig. Pay me or pay me no attention, Paul. We over here talking about back to school and getting these kids. See, you and your little anxious self, go on and sit down. You came the other day, right? You know I could talk about you real, real bad because we have fun over here. But I stole Reba's wig, the person said. Okay. But you ain't gonna steal my joy, period, Pooh. Period. A big period. What you do for a whole living? With your little bull, get into okay, put your back into it. Okay. All right. So please slow down. Okay, let's see what sis is saying. and I'm being mindful of the clock. You said Michaela on Instagram, I mean on Facebook or YouTube, she say, please slow down driving. Be mindful of our babies. Slow down when kids are home. Put your phone down. Turn off the TV. Give your kids all of your attention and listen to them on how their day went. What are their concerns? What is bothering them? Just like we need our Care Bears to talk to and vent. Our kids need us to be there for them. Facebook, TikTok, Snapchat can wait. Do not neglect your kids, but yet want others to stop everything for you. Go ahead on, Evangelist Michaela. Michaela is a parent. I think she worked for the sheriff department when we met. She came, we worked in the county together. Has been large family, very resourceful. We have watched fights together. We done as far as at each other's house, getting the kids together, resourceful with our budgets, baby, getting our kids to know one another down through the years. And guess where we met at work. Our values aligned. We're very resourceful. Money tight, change is strange, but we ain't gonna let that stop us. Baby, she brought some enchiladas. Girl, the girl can cook. The girl had a car issue. I had a car issue. Pick me up. My man and my husband at work. Yours is up. Listen, can you swoop me up? I'll put some gas on it. And depending on the financial situation, girl, you don't have to pay me gas because I might need you to drive me. That's why I'm telling you guys, quit qualifying people as your friend so quickly. If they have not been through the school of hard knocks with you, it's easy to call everybody a friend when you balling out of control. It's easy to qualify somebody as your best sister-in-law when she show up for you at all your events and help you plan your baby showers and weddings and stuff. But what happened when life go to life and you can be real with yourself that how I'm presenting to the world is really not what it is in reality. And I need a safe place to be me. Like bro said, or sis said, whatever your name, Real said, why are you looking tired off up under all of this in the cornrows? I need to be myself. Because it's a lot of hard work trying to be something that you're not. That is what's mentally exhausting a lot of you guys. Now, it's a difference between what people perceive you to be, right? I don't really get moved by people trying to gas me up because that's just not my way. One is not gas by people. I'm not in charge of what people perceive me to be. Tasha, you always seem like you happy. That's their perception. I can been on, I done shared so many journeys with y'all. But their perception is always happy. My job is not to come on here to make you believe that I'm always happy because that would be a bold-faced lie. But if a person perceive through their lens and filter that I'm always happy, that's theirs, not mine. Because I'm not coming here for that. And they have a right, and you have a right to filter how you filter. I'm not talking about that. You just can't get pumped up off of that. Because when you expect it from people to feel valuable and they don't give it to you, there you is in the bed, 600-pound life with your bucket of ice cream, feeling bad about yourself. Well, they didn't like my stuff. They didn't come to my event. They didn't do this. They didn't do that. Did you entertain the thought that they have a whole entire life? Did you entertain the thought that they have kids that they need to deal with? Did you entertain the thought that the validation you're seeking has to come from you? After all you've been through, you have to know you all that in Christ by now. Can't nobody make that be true for you but you. You got to stand up in that truth. Don't put that responsibility on your husband or your kids or this online. See, people that ain't used to having nothing or being heard, they heard the most because they out here with reckless speech and behavior. And y'all know drama, right? And somebody got a promotion in the job. Well, girl, you know so and so got out. He got a business now. He doing. You ain't getting those calls. You getting the calls when so and so went in. You getting the call when so and so had a divorce. You getting a text. So and so going through this, right? But you get to create a new culture. You get to shut the noise down if you set it up that way. And that's why I know God called me to be a sharer of good news, because there's enough people over here talking about the other stuff. I'm not saying that I'm dismissing it, but I know my role and my call. And you guys, if you feel like you moving to the left, moving to the right, shake it to the left because your pants too tight. Hey, you just moving around. Maybe you just don't know your movement. Call it what it is. Because when you don't, you kick it just everywhere. I'm going to try a little bit, a little bit of that. And that's fine if it works for you, poo. If that works for you, can't nobody tell you no different. Where there's a concern is, if you want to be an orchestrator of people's life with all the confusion and they don't align with that movement, then you want to get butthurt. See? And then you making it personal. Well, they rejected me. Baby, they done bought 5 boxes of Girl Scout cookies from somebody else. You come along, can you support my baby with her Girl Scout cookies? Now, before, if you was people pleasing, you just go, well, I don't know how to say no. You already looked at your account. Is a negative? How do I say no in front of all these people that I don't really have the money? You see, the mind drama got you thinking hard about basic stuff. That's what it does. That's what the enemy does. And really, you sit up and justify, I'm going to buy the 5 boxes from her and just give it away to people. Your budget ain't set up to be given away like that right now. And that's fine too. See, if you used to radically giving, pouring out what you don't have, you're doing it out of obligation to be accepted, to be the go-to person. Everybody can count on you to buy stuff even when you don't need it, but yet you praying to God for more financial increase. You got to make it make sense for you. You got to heal from that. And then if the person do set the boundary, thanks but no thanks, I can't buy your Girl Scout cookies. The person on the other end, they pose a question to you. They pose a question. Can you buy, and I'm giving an example. It's not a real life experience. I'm just giving you an example. Because the one thing about me, I don't do subs. I'm grown. I don't need to get online and be dropping subs and all this. That's just, to me, to each his own, but I'm not that girl. So what I'm saying is, if a person asks you a question in this example we're talking about, can you buy the Girl Scout cookies? That was a question with a question mark. And if the answer is fully no, and that person is feeling you rejecting them by way of saying no to the cookies, that is his or her work to deal with. They taking it as you rejected me. You don't support me. You don't like my kids. You don't want the cookies because you don't want me. They catastrophizing all that based on their stuff. And what do you say? Well, I feel so bad that I told them no, but let me reach down in my pocketbook and pull some money out. At least I can buy, 1 box. Now you done got into their circus trying to fix their stuff instead of owning to your boundary. You see how that works? Don't that sound chaotic? Y'all got to keep practicing your boundary. You got to keep getting familiar with familiar with the hard thing that is hard for you to deal with, because that's the only way you're going to go into this level of peace that you're seeking. You can get a raise on the job all you want. That's great. Ain't nobody gonna turn no money down. We're not doing that. Some legit money, we ain't turning that down. Let's just be real clear about that. Some of y'all can, because you got it like that. But the average person, girl, please pay me or pay me no attention is what we're doing up over here. All right. So you got to understand that and we talked about this last night. Some of you guys were in the class, but you got to be rooted and the fact that you wasn't put on this planet Earth to please people, to mismanage your gift, and to be all over the place, not paying attention to the things you need to pay attention to. Because all you're doing is decorating the kids up and calling that good parenting. Some of you guys are amazing parents. You don't even feel that you're an amazing parent because you're hard on yourself. You making it about what the next person doing. You're an amazing parent. Are you kidding me? The things that's going on, the fact that you're resourceful, run into parents, COVID done got so sick they're doing with their baby. They starting to ask for help. My niece started the Black Mama Squad on Instagram, where she rallied up millennial mothers to be a resource to one another from every parts of the world. And now they resource sharing about different things, right? We operate in community, not in isolation. We operate in community and not in isolation. You don't have to be isolated no more. You don't have to lie to kick it. You don't have to be out here believing that you Superman and Superwoman. We got to be fully equipped with the armor of God this year, going into the school district. I'm telling you what I know. I'm telling you what God is showing me in the supernatural. I'm telling you based on this summer meeting with various teachers in a very intimate setting. They're going to need all parents fully on deck this time around. For real this time. Not the honking the horn, kids jumping in cars at stop signs. You don't ain't seen the eyes of your teacher, kids teacher. You only know them by email. Listen, we got enough examples before us. You got to know them teachers. I got the Jones kids, and one of the things I tell people, you're gonna know. I could have tapped out, or mine's made it out. Praise God, but I'm a community person. I'm a community mom. There's board meetings I went through after my kids finished, because on the principality of community, we don't just look at our address. We extend the resource God has given us for the body. It's not just about your kids, because if you're gonna be limited to that degree, like you walking your kids home from school. The next woman got her kids walking home, the big brother, big sister walking the little one home. And you see they walking on the yellow line. You assume that that's how it works. And some social workers, they crim majors getting into our industry. I had to check them on that. You assuming that that's a horrible parent making their kid, and come to find out this parent working 2 or 3 jobs, allowing the bigger one to walk the little one home. The little one giving her one problems. And you over here, oh, that's a shame. These kids walking on the yellow line outside the walking thing. No, 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 no. And I know you say, well, girl, nowadays you can't talk to people, kids, because, you liable to get shot. Why are you operating in error on every little thing? The same God that covered me and countless other people out here in the trenches knocking on people's doors with no weapon like the police, but the weapon of the truth and love. Never been threatened, praise God. I'm not knocking on wood, I'm believing God. We don't need to knock on wood when you know that you're on assignment with the Lord. And when you allow that baby, look, get over here in this line. That's community, that's village. You bring in correction through love and kindness. Baby boy, baby girl, get over here, right here. At some point, if it hits you enough and you get to know this parent, not judging the parent, we already judge ourselves as parents that we should be doing more, right? We are our own worst critic. We don't need anybody to remind us and reinforce. But if you start to realize when you go to that apartment complex or your gated community or your street that you live on, that I notice, you see your lens ain't gonna tell you, wow, no matter what, them kids go to school every day. And by the time you look up and you get the, well, who your mama is, who your daddy is. Oh, okay. And you make an effort to reach out. Because see, she at work. Maybe you work nights and you off in the day. Or maybe you got a at-home job where you have the flexibility to meet your kids at the stop sign or whatever and walk them on home. It don't cost you nothing extra to go greet somebody. I'm telling you, there's power in ministering to other people as you're going through your own thing. This reciprocity. You're pouring into people, even when you haven't really seen the way. We talking about coping with hope. Can you have hope without faith? That's the question on the floor. We talked about. I didn't think twice about sitting in this chair. Told me that stuff. Where did I get that from? Right? When you do a thing and exercise a thing over and over, it becomes your truth. So you got pricing up before you get it. But think about when we go in our cars and get ready for work, we don't even think about I gotta wake up extra to be an hour early. I mean, because the car just gonna work. And when it don't, it tears your whole day upside down. And then sometimes you reset and say, the car tripping, so I get a bit early in case I need to call Caleb to come over here and help me and give me a ride to work. I've experienced people that you so prideful you don't ask for help. You rather go Uber and Lyft. And when I was working in Arizona, and I really enjoyed riding the city bus. That was a personal goal that I wanted to ride the city bus. I wanted to experience everything about the city bus. I hadn't been on a city bus in once I was done with, some of the nurses and doctors and stuff, they would see me on the bus stop and they felt so bad. They were like, why you didn't tell us? I know you in the Airbnb down the street. You should have told me. They felt bad. They really felt they needed to bail me out. And I just had to tell them, I say, you know what? Actually, riding this bus is so liberating. I'm meeting so many amazing people. I love the fact that I can stop at the nail shop at the corner. I can cross the street, get some groceries, and get on the bus and get off. The bus pass was nothing but $30. And I'm you with me. I went to the car rental place and they didn't have any, what do you call them? The little cars that's $35, $40. And I was going to be there for at least, I think it was a 30-day contract. And I'm like doing the math, knowing that I don't like driving like that anyway. It to me, as I researched and kind of got some information from people, a bus pass for 30 versus getting an SUV because they were totally out of the compact cars. I'm cool. It was so humbling. People was giving me free tokens and pulling over and busting U-turns and I wanted you. I said, no, I'm fine. Right? So there's people that want to bless you with rides if you need one, but you don't ask. Because what do you say? I don't want to be a burden to other people. But yet you've been a care bear all your life, giving out. And God set people up to where one of the ladies I'm still friends with, um, anytime I think she gonna come to California soon, but whenever I go over there, I mean, she's Puerto Rican. Oh baby, we had such a good time. And this is where I'm telling you guys that identity foreclosure we talked about last night. Don't despise how God used people to be a blessing of you based on their skin color. Please and thank you. Please and thank you. Tonight we have some Care Bears, different races, different faces. Tonight is Wednesday. And there's community going to her pool. She's leading the water aerobics in her backyard in her pool. It wasn't anything scheduled, but God allowed me to know that these two individuals need to connect. They both retired. They have some similar journeys, although they have different cultural experiences. In my spirit, I knew that if these women connected, they would be a resource and a sisterhood to each other. And God had his way. All God is saying is be obedient. Do the thing I'm telling you to do. I'll bring about the increase. I'll bring about the resources that you need. We got to be rested and focused so we can hear what he's telling us to do. And so that is kind of what we're talking about. It's 10:05. I'm finna log off. But I'm grateful for the feedback that you guys said on the people pleasing boot camp. It was a semi, it wasn't really boot campish, but I will be having a course available. You can literally go watch the replay and work through that so you can start to feel better for yourself. But really be kind to your mind. Be kind to your mind. What are you looking forward to for the rest of the day? Hey, Isaiah, I love your name. That's a very, very amazing name. What are you looking forward to for the rest of the day? What are you looking forward to for today? We're not on tomorrow yet. What is something you need to forgive yourself for right now? Anger is uprooted is fear. I'm angry with myself. We talked about shame, and that's why we have the board. We kind of map it out for you visual folks. But shame is really about I'm bad. Like we said earlier, if I don't buy your cookies, you're denying me as a person. And you guys seen that play out with Oprah and Iyanla Van Zant when they had that come to sisterhood reconciliation. We were able to understand Iyanla when she said, and Oprah was like, I gave you my stage. What do you mean? I gave you my platform. I don't let just anybody come up in my house like that. And you perceive that I don't support you when I gave you my whole stage. What did Iyanla say? Y'all can watch it back on YouTube. It was profound. And at the time, you may have not gotten it, but some things you can learn from some intentional viewing, and you can heal on journeys for yourself through the power of God. Everybody don't heal through formal therapy, and that's fine too. But what did Iyanla say? I thought you wanted me, my gift, because that's what she was used to. A single mom, divorced, a lawyer in New York. So people was rallying around her accomplishments all her life. So when she went on the stage, she's just like, people love me for my gift. So I got to keep giving the gift. But what if I don't feel like doing this? What if I'm depressed and tired? You don't like me, Iyanla, or you can say you don't like me, Carter. You don't like me, Tasha. You here for the gift that I bring, right? And they in real life time, I thank God for their vulnerability, because how many of you guys can relate to that? Sometimes you believe that you are not lovable, you're not worthy, you're not worth anything, but people connect to you based on the gift that you have. So you feel used. You feel like you ain't worth nothing unless you keep giving out. But what happened when your well runs dry, right? And so what did they do? They learned from it. God had his way in that. Modeled the country, the reconciliation, and honoring each other's truth of interpretation. What would that mean for you at your address? If two willing parties really pull their edges back on that and really start speaking your truth about how you're experiencing life right now. But my brothers on here, you hide your stuff behind working your butt to death, but you're secretly depressed. And then you come home and she have this understanding that you're not helping enough with the kids, for example. And over here, you dealing with things at work she don't know about. She not discerning anything because she's operating in stress and burnout, right? But the power of communication and love for one another. What got us together? What attracted us to each other? We've been through tough stuff before. Ain't no need to quit right now. But we know that I can't do all the heavy lifting. It takes two willing parties to get through this. And we ain't got to try to fix 10,000 things. Let's just have some core understandings before these babies hit back school. Because they need to come home, let's say that, whether they got shrimp and crab boil or not. That ain't what we're talking about. A sanctuary is a space of peace. It's not whether or not you got 5 flat screen TVs, because we overcompensate with things when we don't know how to do the things from the heart. I'm showing you I love you based on the stuff I buy you. I'm showing you I love you based on me breaking down my credit card and taking you to Disneyland. And when you talk to kids and you start to realize the experiences that they had with you, this is how I learn. I learn from other people's kids. Y'all know our kids don't tell us stuff sometimes. We did focus groups. They always was talking about the experiences that money can't buy. They talked about when you let them make cupcakes and made a mess in the kitchen. They talk about how their daddy put them in the lap on the Toyota and showed them how to drive a car in the country. Okay, one should be under wheel. Those are the fun memories. The babies, they didn't really tell us. And I took that in as a mother, right? Because we're always understanding and being a student of other people's experience. We not over here perfect and polished up. I'm saying, oh, that's an epiphany. So you mean to tell me I don't have to work 2.5 jobs trying to overcompensate because I don't know how to be emotionally connected? It's too deep for me. I'm not a deep person. Go down to the tree, get things, and then I went and got some aprons from the thrift store. You know, they got the apron on and they little hat. They feeling like a king or a queen, fully present in that moment, right? And so that's what the kids experience. So when you have these conversations, as I'm really encouraging family meetings month, quarterly, weekly, depending on the dynamics of your home structure, have those conversations. Go down to five and below or Dollar Tree, get the little plastic microphone. Let the babies be a part of that conversation. That is communication 101. That is reconciliation. That's healing. That's leadership. That's ministry, right? Don't overtalk them. If they slow to talk, that's going to help y'all anxious people to learn how to slow down, right? And ask them what's the most funnest, the most memorable memory that y'all have with mama, have with daddy. And I want y'all to do this for yourself and really come back and share out. I'm curious to see what comes up for you and what epiphany you take away. You might have one that say, when you took me on a shopping spree in LA, it is what it is. That's their memory because every kid is different, just like you're different from your siblings. But you'll be amazed about how you working yourself to death. I don't know if we did that on top, but you are working yourself to unalive yourself prematurely because you're overcompensating, believing that I'm going to give them the life I never had. Heal so you can stop bleeding on them about guilt that you have. That's what that is. You beating up on yourself. You survived the layaway generation. The urgency to get a thing right now. When we were raised in the layaway generation, the power of discipline. We can appreciate that now because we're wiser. So giving them, giving them, giving them, giving them, and giving them, and you already strapped right now financially, you say, but somehow or another you finna get up and finna break bread, all kinds of bread for Christmas finna roll up on you. It's okay to recheck your value system and structure. I learned from a lot of friends that I admired their heart of giving and love the Lord. Friends told me, you know what, we do a won't. Friend told me, and this is years ago, I adopted this. We get a want, a need, and we do something charitable. Because y'all can look at y'all kids' toy box. You can look in your shed in the backyard. A lot of that stuff got cobwebs on it. The chains on the bikes is broke. You don't want to fix it. You finna just go get a new bike because a new bike is trending with all the bells and whistles on it. See, I was raised at a time where mama would get that white shoe polish on them skates and fix up the old skates and put some pom poms on the front and shine the wheels and rebox them things. See, they didn't even have all the pretty Dollar Tree boxes back then in bags. Mama wasn't trying to hide the fact that old skates. She demonstrated to us we're going to make the old things new again. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. That's a scripture all right there. Making that old thing new again. And you over here trying to uproot and change a but the Spirit of the Lord says, I'm going to make the old thing new again. Rise up, Zion. This too shall pass. I'm going to cope with hope because without hope, there is no faith. Without faith, there is no hope. What am I believing Him for? Bigger than me sitting in this chair, knowing that my faith tells me it's going to hold me up. God has held you up all this time. What is it going to take for you to believe that for you? Can't nobody teach it to you and understand it for you. They can sow seed, but you got to take it in full throttle. Quit beating up on yourself about you not a good parent. You have some guilt or some past regrets. We all have them. But make sure it's not the driver's seat of your life. That's why you see these reckless drivers. They rushing to go nowhere. They have no respect for the safety of babies, no respect for the safety of babies, tells me you got no respect or regard for life. So you're reckless in all your ways according to how I get down. And I get to size it up based on my filter. I'm not telling you to agree with it, but I'm telling you, you need to align with what's your core values, what you believe in God for you at your address. And with that truth activated, that is how you move through day to day. You don't just be out here willy-nilly listening to any type of garbage spirit and listening to chronic news that's really reinforcing oppression that got you up under the bed today when you just got out the shower today and got dressed. You can't go back in that fiery house. You got to be wise up out here. Quit co-signing on people to co-sign with what you have. Your truth is yours. Get clear for you. It's hard for you or someone you love in that house to understand how to support you when you don't even know what you need. That's why you got to have time with God. Go to the park. Take your lunch breaks according to your peace structure. Stay away from the noise in the office. You can't afford that in your container right now. Well, why you not breaking and taking lunch with us no more? You know they got a sale at Popeyes, 2 piece and a biscuit. Y'all can have all that, sweetheart. No, I'm gonna stay back. And you know what they gonna do? Tasha don't come to lunch breaks with us no more. Is everything going on? Her and her man, have y'all heard anything? You know how people do. They not rooted in anything. They want the tea on you because they not rooted. You don't have to explain all of that. It's between you and God. I'm seeking peace this go around. And peace gonna require me to sit out here in the patio when people take their lunches at 12. I'm gonna take mine at even 11 or 1 o'clock. And if your job is set up to where you don't get to pick and choose your lunch break, that's okay. There's still ways you can do that. For some of y'all where you live and if the weather is what it is, park your car in the shade. Okay? You know how much gas you got out there if you need to click the AC on. You got to be creative. Okay? You can't your peace regimens. I can't see because some of y'all making self-care about something else. Self-care is an inside job and then it work itself out. Well, I can't do self-care and prioritize myself because my check is late and my hours is cut. These kids going back to school. I can't do that. My alternator is running out. My sister, she going through it with her kid. You just catastrophize drama, right? And the free thing you need to do just recognize what you need. You need to do a bit different. We're talking about adjustments here. And be willing to do something different if what you're doing is not working. And don't make it about spinning into your wellness. Your wellness is within your domain. You can sit up and watch the crappy childhood fairy that I give you guys as a resource if you want to understand some trauma. She is not a therapist, but she is a pure example of how she took her journey to heal. Crappy childhood fairy. And you can say, you know what, on my lunch today, I'm finna watch the YouTube and she's helping me understand the root of my people, please. Or she's helping me to understand why I keep attracting these type of relationships to my life. Right? And she's speaking it to me in a way that I digest it. If she's not the one, then you go into research and you ask God to guide you. Right? It's okay to love God and have therapy and healing or a resource as well. That's why we're doing the series. We have 2 more left. So I hope that helped you guys. I'm going to go to our processing meeting in another hour. And so, with that being said, I hope that our time together in TikTok land is intentional. I hope that when you come here, you feel welcome and you just feel like my life is changing. Hallelujah, for the better. Your life is changing for the better. Your life is changing for the better. Don't entertain anything to the contrary. And let's see what the word says for today. Any questions, comments, feedback? Questions, comment, feedback. Today, you're going to declare with me, my life is changing for the better. I'm going to slow down in the India Irie voice. Slow down, baby. You're going too fast. Slow down, baby. and I can hear the Spirit on life. Believe that for yourself. Believe that for yourself. Believe that for yourself. Let's just see what we have today. Yesterday, y'all prayed me birthday, and typically, I had told y'all I sit up and give myself permission to feel sorry for myself. But because I was obedient in teaching a second class on mental health and post pandemic recovery plan for my church for the first time, God met us in that place last night. It was my first time in 6 years that I did something to God and I felt so at peace. I wasn't having my crying spells. Crying spells is necessary, but I felt like um I just felt like God met me in that place. So the power of collective prayer, it does help, right? It does help. And my oldest will be, praise God, 30 on tomorrow. So I'm asking you guys to lift her up as well. Um, I left that one in the car. But I get these. Do you guys have what is it called? Dollar General in your city, in your state? Because I'm recognizing and learning from you guys. Some of our stores is called different names. But I got this from Dollar General. Feel every feel every day with faith. So when you out there on your healing journey, pick up little things that align with how you learn, right? This is a quick, simple way. It's a couple bucks. Start going down of substance. Like when you're in the stores, when you're buying something, kind of gaze through the aisles that speaks healing, nuggets that you can pour inside yourself. That is a good way for you to start elevating spiritually so you can start being, in tune to what it is that you need right now. Okay, so I'm gonna read this one to you guys. It says, "Look for joy, and you'll see God. Joy is not only possible, but it can abound, regardless of what's going on in your life or the challenges and roadblocks you're currently facing. Even when the world feels like it has turned and things feel completely overwhelming, don't lose sight of how precious life is, how joyous it is. No matter how stagnant or hopeless you might feel about things right now, remember that growth has not stopped. You're growing through these things that we talked about. Thank you so much for the birthday love. You're growing. Remember the growth that has not stopped. So, how many of you guys can honestly say, Tasha, I have grown through some of these pain points? I have grown through some of these pains. You bringing on a new awareness. So everything we go through, sometimes we're in the funk of it. You can't even think your way out because the trauma and the pain of it is so painful. You don't get the lesson until after you have gotten through the shock of it. Just own up to the fact that that's what it is. Don't beat up on yourself. All right. And as you go through it and you can reflect back on your life now, think about some things that you've learned since pandemic that you didn't know that you had. Right. And so you want to understand that through the process, that growth has not stopped. Instead, when things get tough, look for will give you life so you can keep going. If you don't have kids, but you the worst auntie or uncle, and they just love you when you pull up with your Cadillac, okay? You bring a smile to their face without having to bring goodies, right? Because we don't have to give to be loved. But you called them and they didn't know that you even think about them, right? Ask the Lord to put on your heart, Lord, who do you want me to call? A good old fashioned phone call. No agenda. No, can you tune up my car? No, do you know somebody that got the hookup on the bounce house for this weekend? But literally, the Lord put you on my heart today. I just wanted to say I love and appreciate you. Watch how that go viral in the family. Sheila called me. Is she okay? Is she sick? You said I look like I'm 30. I'm 51. Thank you. Yep. And so they be like, is she sick? Is Sheila sick? Is user to 32345678910? It's girl, is she sick? She called and told me that, she was thinking about me. What's going on with her? Y'all know how people do. So you want to start to create that new norm where you led by the spirit to check on people. Because that's ministry, right? And so ask yourself, what do you need? Ooh, God is so timely. Y'all see me pull this out of my bag. And look what it says. We've been talking about this. Ask yourself, what, oh, wait, instead, when things tough, what will you life so you can keep going? Ask yourself what you need and get help where you can. Ask yourself what you need is what the Lord has been pressing us to do. Unlocking our truth, not hiding behind it, and know that God is going to give us the resources that we need. They exist in your family. They exist within you. Quit hiding the fact that you're supposed to be strong with the superwoman cake. All right. So ask yourself, what do I need right now? And get help where you can. It can be something as simple as taking a nap when you can. It can be as simple as the night before going to a church event service that nobody know you at this church, but you feel led to receive the word. It can be as simple. You guys know I'm telling you, go hit up the parks. Something about being in nature. I got 3 minutes. Something about being in nature. It really does the body good. Tapped off of your phones, putting your feet in the grass. That's some grounding stuff that we do. If you don't think that you can handle small talk right now, that is something to be aware of. Some of you guys will heal by silence. Y'all hear events in the park, you can hear the birds chirping. You got to practice something new for yourself. It takes practice. Once a week, twice a week, whatever you're going to make a priority. You're going to make time on your schedule. You're going to make time. Because, sis, if you allow yourself to burn out, somehow or another you're going to be laid up, hospital, blood pressure through the roof. And now you forced laid on your back. So proactively, can we make time for our wellness? Can we make time for our Girl Get Up campaign? I'm getting up in my spirit and my faith. I'm going to cope with hope, right? I'm going to do. You can go stroll in nature. Wow, God is so good. I can't make this up. The Lord is really allowing us to talk and process together. I have not read this. And look what the sentence say. It could be going in nature or snuggling with your pet. Didn't I just talk about nature? Didn't I just tell you that? All right. So take note what 2013 says. You will seek me and find me. When you seek me with all your heart, spouse, don't seek the people at the church, at the job, from your kids, from your checkbook. You hear me? Jeremiah 29:13. Seek me and find me when you seek me with all your heart. Even when injustice don't get rectified, when the healing we verbally pray about doesn't happen, when evil seems prosperous, if we seek him, we will find him. He is God of justice, God of comfort, God of miracles, and God of joy. He will stand by you during the dark times. So you are never, hallelujah, Holy Spirit, you're never alone, sweetheart. You're never alone. God is just separating you because he wants you to himself. He's separated you from noise and distractions. And it feels lonely because you feel like, I don't have friends anymore. They start tripping. God allowed them to trip because you weren't going to evict them out your life. So he had to do it for you because he loved you like that, right? So there's some things that he removed from us, and we got to be mindful that we're not picking those things back up in the name of being lonely. Okay, he will stand by you during the dark times, so you are never alone, and he will guide you toward the path of joy and lightness. The joy is what you guys hear me talk about. Joy is internal, it's unspeakable. It's when externally my lights is shut off. It's externally when happy birthday really ain't happy. Happy is about the external, right? Happy birthday, anniversary, happy New Year's, right? It's the things outside of us that's happy. Joy says, even if it's happy, joy, because I know this is a faith test walk. And this thing that I'm facing is not permanent. It may feel permanent, and I'm going to not act like it don't because we don't fight the feeling, we invite the feeling, right? But we're mindful of these thoughts, making sure they're not in the driver's seat of our life. I hope that makes sense. In other words, continue on this journey. Don't beat up on yourself to believe that somehow I don't love God because I'm experiencing depression, or somehow I must not trust God because I have some worries. Feelings are what they are. The distinguishment is, am I allowing my feelings to ride and guide my life to the point it's so bad that I can't sleep? That is where we have to go on a journey of healing so we can overcome these fears. They don't drive my life. You know what I'm saying? Because God loves you just as you are. You don't have to fake the funk with him. You don't have to be something you're not with him, right? And so I want you to just be mindful that you're worthy and you're good enough. All right. So he will guide your path, and he will be the joy, talking about the internal stuff. And light, you guys are a light in your place. When you come to the job, the meeting, the family function, your aura, your energy set the room up because you have a healing spirit. So you attract brokenness to you a lot of times. That's a sign that you have a call on your life as a healer. You wondering how in the world can they come to me with their stuff? And I'm over here dealing with 1,001 things. But even with all that, God has anointed you. So you attract broken spirits because you have a healing spirit and faith that He's bringing you out. So we're going to end with John 15 and 11. These things I have spoken to you, that my joy may be in you, and that your joy may be full. May be full. Not if I'm mood swinging, not if I'm mood swinging, not if I feel like it, if I'm feeling it in my, your joy will be full. Right at that address you at, right at that desk you at, right with that relationship or the lack thereof, right with what's going on with the babies. He brought you out before. He's going to bring you out again. Believe that with all your heart and trust God for the whole thing. We'll be back a little bit later, but my loves, if you guys need any type of journal to kind of really start going in internally, which is figuring out your things, giving yourself permission to think higher about yourself and not be married to your pain, go over to my website. It's on the link. There's a free journal waiting for you. You can literally get the free journal, print it out. And I want you to start going through some of the questions just once or twice a week. And I know God is going to meet you in that space of self-discovery because you're not the same like you was yesterday. You're not the same back when you was kicking it with other people. You're not the same as it was before COVID. And sometimes, sis, you got to just make a priority a priority. If what you're doing right now need to be tweaked and you need a little bit of guidance, go to my website, talktotasha.com. The link is there. Down, get the free journal. It's there for you, absolutely free. And go ahead and go in for yourself. Watch how God set you free. I don't trust me, trust God. All right. I'll see you beautiful people later. Really be kind to your mind. If you need any type of coaching or mentorship, all of the links are there. But we're not here for that. I'm here for you to try the thing that we talked about. But know that I am a resource within the parameters of over talk. Nobody care about me, understand me, because I have been here with you on assignment by God. Don't know all the answers, but I know when we roll our sleeves up, depression ain't gonna take over your life. Anxiety and lack is not gonna dominate your life. This limited mindset is finna be shaken up. I know that for sure, because we not finna give up. We just not. When you're weak, I'm your sister that's gonna push you. When I'm weak, y'all prayed me through for my daddy birthday yesterday, right? That is what we call reciprocity. Push and pull, push and pull. All right. May the devil be horrified and God be glorified. Have an amazing day. I'll see y'all probably late night when my husband is at work and we in there doing something in the kitchen. All right. You guys be blessed. I'll talk to you later.